Can you just take me back to when you basically found out the news about Lexi?
I was actually home this weekend. I went home to see my family for Labor Day, and a few of the players sent me a text Saturday evening around, was asking me, have I heard, about Lexi? And of course I didn't. So I started asking questions, and they started filling me in, and instantly, my heart just got sad because I just it could be good or bad. Definitely was hoping that was good, but when I got the news, is something that you don't ever want to hear. And I know her parents probably or actually is hurting more than anybody. So I know them receiving is probably way terrible than me receiving it, but it's one of those calls you wish you can never have. So.
And can you just explain to me and give me an insight on who she kind of was as a person? I saw her on the court. She's always smiling, and she may have missed a layup. She's still
she was.
Yeah. So how was she as a person?
Oh, that's who she was off the court. There was never a dull moment with her. One thing that I, as a coach, appreciate is that her spirit was always happy. It's very vibrant. If Lexi was mad, something was really wrong. She's the type, she was the life of the party. She comes in with a smile, leaves with a smile. It doesn't matter how tough practice was. Lexi was that kid that kept the smile on her face, and a lot of people fed off of that. I know I did. I mean, because I had some rough days as a coach, and the moment I see Alexis, I know that that rough moment I had is about to be out the window, because of her presence.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about that. How did she affect you personally, from player to coach?
A lot. One thing about being an educator, these kids become a part of our lives unexpectedly. Being a coach, it's one of those things. It is a very, very just a good job to have. And the chance that you get to connect with a kid every day. Sometimes we connect more off the court or on the court or vice versa. But for me personally, she did a lot. And she did more than she ever knew that she did. Like I said earlier, this group was a very close group, and they actually became a part of my life off the court. Whether it's celebrations to be a part of, as much as I rooted for them, they rooted for me, and that's why it affects me so much, because of outside of basketball, it was more personal outside of basketball, and we were able to build off of that and become close as a group. And I just, man, when I tell you, she is just at the light of everything, just the light of everything, and that's one thing I'm going to miss about her.
Yeah, and I can tell through social media. How many people she affected?
Yes.
You seeing that on social media?
Yes.
How did that mean for you?
Oh, it brought tears to my eyes. I knew how Lexi was. I'm sure her family did. But to see that everybody else knew how Lexi was, it's so heartwarming. And her parents should be proud, of the young lady that they raised, because not every teenager, has that light. Lexi has a light that shined outside. If you talk to her for 5 minutes, your life has changed. If you played basketball with her, your life was changed. If you was her classmate, their life was changed. She's just one of those kids that just made an instant impact, and she made you remember her. That's what I loved about her. Like, she made you remember her. There's so many stories that I could sit here and talk about Lexi and the times that we've had along with that group as well. But I can guarantee you, no one will ever forget her. So to see that on a platform that that can connect to a lot of people is very, very heartwarming for me, and it brings a lot of peace. It brings a lot of peace, because I mean it's the other day I thought yesterday morning, I'm just like, man, because I just saw her last week, and to know that she's gone now, it's crazy to me. But We can't question God. We just be able to, He allowed us to be a part of her life. I got to be a part of her life for 3 years, and it was probably the best 3 years a coach could ever be happy about.
And you said you saw her last week. If you don't mind sharing, what was it?
I did. Being when I left Odessa, it was a tough decision, and leaving those kids and leaving that program. And now that I'm back out here, even though I am on the other side of town, I still have a close relationship with those kids, and we all do. Like I said, it's a very tight group. They've all went their separate ways now, but they all still keep in contact, and that's one thing that is troubling with me, because I talked to her, I saw the baby and everything last week with her, and me being back here, it's to see my babies, be adults and have kids and do those things. It's one thing that, as a coach, to see them to be doing great things in life. And we had some grown-up conversations, in that, and I always told her I was proud of her. There's nothing wrong with being a mother. Just be the best mother possible. And I always tell them how much I love them. It doesn't matter, whether it's a 10-minute conversation or an hour conversation. It's always, I love you. If you need me, I'm here, and I'm glad to be back here. I'm glad I was able to see her, because it's tough, but I know that she's at peace, because she was a fighter. She was a warrior. So.
And lastly, Coach, just with the baby still being here and missing both of their parents, what do you hope that, you talked about her being remembered, what do you hope that child kind of raised up to be kind of like her mother? Oh,
I have no doubt she's going to be her mother. She created that baby. So that we're going to have Alexis Luna 2.0, she's a pretty baby girl. Her family is, they've expressed before, they're going to make sure that her daughter knows, who her mom was. And I'm pretty sure the older she gets, she's going to want to follow her mom's footsteps. It's just gut-wrenching, to grow up, without your mother. But that, as the old saying goes, it takes a village, and my prayers to the Luna family, I believe they have the right village to help that young lady be who her mom was. I do want to send my condolences to the Luna family. It is my plan to go by and visit with them, when the dust settles, because I know it's pretty hectic right now. But they were very good to me the time I was at Odessa, and I just want to pay my respect back to them however I can to help them. But I know it's gonna be some trying times ahead, but I hope and pray that they find peace through the storm.